Welcome to the Double Feature Movie Podcast where we are recording this in the SPH Pleasure Dome. My name is Ernest Luis and your regular host, Jonathan Roberts, is actually our guest critic today.
Is this a demotion?
Not really, I think. I think you can't wait to get stuck into The Rock, right? That's why you wanted me to swap places with you.
Talk about phrasing. The film that we're going to be discussing today is Skyscraper, featuring
Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, the former wrestler turned actor.
Is he still The Rock now? I thought he was just Dwayne Johnson.
Yeah, Dwayne Johnson. I still like to call him The Rock.
Either way, I sat through this thing the other day. I went to see it at IMAX. It was an experience.
Yeah?
An experience that I felt trapped. I don't know if that's meant to be like some kind of empathic thing, but I certainly felt trapped by this film and I could not wait to get out. It is quite possibly the stupidest film I've seen all year.
What?
And not in a good way. The stupid fun, the stupid, oh man, please stop. It's the latter.
Okay. Now, I haven't seen this movie yet, and the last time I saw The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, was in Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. I really enjoyed that. Full of charisma.
Yeah,
it was
fantastic.
Light, it was fun.
A really fun film.
And this movie, I understand it takes its inspiration from Die Hard, Towering Inferno. What's the premise of this movie, actually?
Those are references for the teenagers. Yes, it's pretty much Die Hard crossed with the Towering Inferno. It's set in Hong Kong. Dwayne Johnson is a former FBI agent who, at the very start of the film, you see a mission go wrong.
Yeah.
He loses his
left leg?
Yeah, lower half of the left leg.
Okay.
And he's turned into some kind of security advisor.
Yeah.
He gets employed by Qin Han to Singapore's very own Qin Han.
Okay.
To overlook his brand new, super tall, super amazing skyscraper called the Pearl that's in the Hong Kong Bay.
Yeah.
And he is giving it the once-over before it launches fully open to the public. It's immense. There's some immense building, like the lower half is all shopping, and then there's like 3,000 floors of residences going up.
Wow.
Complete with this super technological marvel called the Pearl at the very top, which is like some kind of
Sounds like an interesting premise, you know?
Yeah, no, it's not. This is very much the film of the trailer. If you've watched the trailer, then this is just a really extended version of the trailer. Everything was in the trailer pretty much.
I saw the trailer. He has some duct tape to his hands and then he goes out and then apparently he moves around and swings around.
Well, this comes to one
amazing.
of the big issues with it. Yeah. After it, you spend so long with him as serious family guy. This is not fun rock. This is serious rock. He's trying to be he's a serious family man. For some unknown reason, his family, which is Neve Campbell, who's come back after years after. Yeah.
This is 90s,
I can't remember last time I saw her. And his two adorable children. She was the surgeon who saved him after the bad mission. Anyway, they've been invited to stay as the very first residential people in the Pearl whilst Dwayne is doing the checks. I don't know why. Just for the sake of, he's got to have someone in the building when it catches on fire.
But you're saying that it's not, it's bad. In what way? Because, none of his charisma comes through, or is it lack of jokes?
Well, there's not a huge amount of jokes. And if it's not for Dwayne, it would have been terrible. At the moment, it's just about stupid. The reason it's stupid is that compared to all the other action films that he's in, especially the Fast and Furious series where, yes, the action is ridiculous, but it kind of leans into the ridiculous and you can't wait to see what they come up with next, like driving the car through the skyscrapers of Abu Dhabi or, twisting the course of the torpedo on the ice flats, you know, of course. This one just, how do I put it? It is a case of you have to set what your level of physics is in order to have some tension. And in this, there's no risk factor. Everything he does, you mentioned the duct tape thing where it goes on the outside. He may as well have just licked his palms and pretended they were suction. Clearly he can't. One of the things that has come up on social media is that the original poster, which is, I think the one that we've got here is him dangling from the building unit, a bottom down shot, which kind of works in IMAX, I have to say. Occasionally you get the the vertigo feel.
Yeah.
But the other poster was a shot based on the film where he leaps from a crane
Yeah.
to the building. There's a bit of a fire below, and he's trying to leap into a window.
Oh, I saw that in the trailer. He's running. He has a bit of a weird run, though. But
Well,
I
he's
guess,
got
yeah.
one leg.
Yeah. Okay, that's true. So he jumps off a crane.
He jumps off a crane, but a lot of people on social media went wild with this, saying,
Yeah.
well, if he's jumping that distance and he's there at
Yeah.
that time the picture's taken, there's no way for him to go but either drop into the fire or just straight down. And they went wild with it. They started doing mathematical equations showing graphs of his trajectory and then saying, oh no, but then if he jumps, perhaps a blast from the fire can go up. There's no risk in this. I mean, one of the earlier bits, just
Yeah.
to show how
Yeah.
little risk there is involved, is that there's a big fight they're in a kitchen, and he knocks the guy and they fall backwards onto an open dishwasher tray that's got knives and plates and stuff. And the guy just gets up from it. Like there's no marks there. I don't know if people die
Yeah.
from falling on open dishwasher trays.
Yes. So there's none of that.
There's none of that. And then someone gets shot point blank in the chest, rolls over. There's no exit wound.
Okay, I have to ask you this. I mean, since it's been panned, or you say he's been panned on social media and all that, but this guy, Dwayne Johnson, he earns at least US $20 million a movie now.
Oh yeah, he's
Plus
worth it.
box office
Yeah.
profits. Is he like the best, biggest action movie star in the world right now? I mean, there were
No.
a long time ago, Schwarzenegger, Stallone, those were the guys, they were the defining times of my era in the 80s or something like that. But is Dwayne Johnson right now?
Dwayne Johnson has the magic touch. The Fast and Furious franchise
Yeah.
would be nothing at the moment without his interjection. When he came in Fast 5, I think, and that was when the series really took off. And he's got such charm. And he's so likable in all his roles. And he's worth it for that, because a lot of stuff that he does, there's the big films and then there's the kind of essentially B movies.
Yeah, yeah.
And he's able to, I would watch him in most of anything.
Okay,
It's just
compare
that
him
this-
to Mr. Tom Cruise.
Well, Tom Cruise
Impo-
is very
Mission
different.
Impossible.
Very different.
He's
Tom-
not very likable for me.
Yeah, but
is
Tom
he,
Cruise...
is he a better, bigger action star than
Oh,
Dwayne
easily.
Johnson?
Easily. Because Tom Cruise has got this kind of death wish where he's broken ankles on his last film. He's the only actor to perform an actual halo jump for Mission Impossible Fallout, which at the moment is getting amazing reviews. They've just premiered the other night in Paris.
Yeah.
And the reviews are saying that Mission Impossible Fallout is the best action film.
So you're saying
in
Tom
a
Cruise
long
is the
time.
best, the number one in the world right now, compared to Dwayne Johnson as action movie star?
Okay, as an action movie star, yes, he's a better action movie star. As a box office draw, I think Dwayne Johnson is better because he just brings people in. He's likable to watch. You can watch him doing anything. It's just unfortunate that in this film, they've made the action just too outlandish. I mean, if he was jumping from the crane to the building, you don't have to make the distance so ridiculously far. And I mean, the build-up of this film, Rolson Thurber, what's his
The
name?
director, right? Rawson Marshall Thurber.
Rolson Marshall Thurber has done comedies before. He's worked with Dwayne Johnson previously.
Central
in
Intelligence.
Central Intelligence.
Kevin Hart. Yeah, I like
Kevin
that
Hart.
combination. Yeah.
Well, that's why it works.
He
in
doesn't have that
Jumanji.
combination here because obviously you're
No,
saying it's more
it's
serious.
a more
Yeah.
serious thing.
Okay.
But the director, I mean, if he'd made this much more of a comedy, there'd be a lot more going on there. All action movies break physics. Bruce Willis jumping off the roof in Die Hard with just the fire hose attached to it would have sliced him in two. But, we're willing to let a bit of physics stretch, a bit of reality stretch. But if you stretch it too far, like with his leap into the wind turbines, there's these wind turbines that kind of power the...
Oh, yes. In
the
the trailer,
thing.
I saw
Yeah.
that.
And then,
I mean, my favorite scene from Bruce Willis's Die Hard was, I remember when he had to walk across the floor on the glass, the broken glass.
Yeah.
That was terrible. That was like, you could
Well,
really...
it's relatable, isn't it?
Yeah, it's
it's
relatable, yeah.
at the same time. I mean, if you ever have stood on glass, which
Yes.
I have to say, everyone's stood on a little bit of glass
Yes.
before, right?
Yeah.
But to have a big shard in it is totally different. But
We don't have that
you
here.
won't be able to run afterwards, but you're willing to forgive it. In this case, in Skyscraper, it's just too ridiculous. I mean, it's so CGI as well. I mean, obviously they have to make it CGI for this building, but if you add a bit more realism to the action and make it look like there's a real bit of exertion, then there's all this stuff like, explosions. People are so close to huge explosions, like a whole floor of fire goes up to the next floor.
Yeah.
And it, bursts through the doors, and you just kind of like, oh, I'll just hide around the corner. And then everything's fine. And there's just there's this whole huge sky garden that's like a forest. If you think like Gardens by the Bay domes, think about 3 of those stacked on top of each other, and you get one of what's it like in here, but it's all on fire, and there's people at the top of it, and it's like, how barbecues work, right?
Yes.
The fire is below, and it rises, and it cooks things on top. Why are these people who are walking across a gantry on top of this huge fire not turning into little beef burgers and hot dogs? There are other issues with it. Every character in this film is just there to provide some kind of exposition. Why is he doing this? Well, he is doing this because he's doing it. And I think the other issue with it not being a comedy, or they didn't go for the comedy angle, is that, of course, with it being a serious thing, you also get these unintentionally hilarious moments. There's a lot of crowd scenes because everyone's stood outside watching this tower burn, and of course he's climbing a skyscraper, and apparently everyone's got supervision 300 floors up to the thing that everyone can see perfectly what's going on, apparently, which is just ridiculous in itself. But also, they've also clearly hired a lot of calefare in the Hong Kong streets. Yeah. So whilst you're bored kind of watching this thing, you also your mind starts drifting and your eyes start drifting. You start watching all the calefare in these crowd shots and all these kind of uncles who are like meant to look shocked, but they're actually smiling instead. So there's all these little nuggets of things to keep you entertained throughout, even though it's not meant to keep you entertained. So yeah, there's lots of watch out for the uncles in the crowd shots. Part of the film is it's a hall of mirrors, and I don't know if it's just such a deliberate kind of, oh, quick, let's do a homage to Enter the Dragon. It's like a high-tech version of the Hall of Mirrors in Enter the Dragon.
That's something to look forward to. I remember that in Enter the Dragon.
Well, no, it's not. It's not something to look forward to, because it's the running on glass thing again. It's so outlandish because, again, the physics don't quite work with this scenario. They've made it so out there that you can't relate to it. And if you can't relate to the danger, then you're just watching a guy. He may as well just fly up the building at some point. I mean, this is beyond American Ninja style challenges. It's so out there. And I know this is kind of like Towering Inferno for kids, really. It's what, PG-13, I think. And your younger crowd is probably going to ooh and ah about it, but otherwise it's...
See, The Rock had this.
It's an endurance.
He posted this on his Instagram account. Actually, he said that they had a test screening with the audience before the film was released, and they decided that they were going to try and make the movie better because he wanted some audience participation. He needed a bigger creative conversation, and he wanted to do it, and then they reshot some pivotal scenes, including the ending of Skyscraper, to make it better. His reason was that the most important thing is sending the people home happy. Clearly, it didn't do that for you.
Well, not for me. And, the flippant answer is that perhaps they should have tried harder. But that is why he is so good as a personality. He really does want to do what the people want to see. It's just that in this case, it falls short. I mean, it could have been fantastic if they just tried a bit harder with the plot.
So the other character that Singaporean audiences might want to see is Qin Han, who plays the tower builder, Chow.
Yeah.
He has built the Skyscraper, Hong Kong's tallest building. What do you think of him? I mean, he's like Singapore's eminent Hollywood star, right, almost?
Well, he's the biggest acting export. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, how do you find him? I mean, I thought, is this like a major role? Is this going to be the start of something bigger now for Qin Han?
I don't think so.
No, why?
He plays the role that he's been playing a lot of. he excels, especially in Hollywood movies. I mean, okay, he was in Marco Polo as well, but in Hollywood movies, Qin Han basically plays high up, high level, possibly billionaire, possibly presidential characters who are very
board director types, like in
I
the
mean,
Marvel
he's been
series,
in Captain America as one of the the highest ranking security officials in the world.
Yeah.
Of course, he was in Dark Knight as the eminent Hong Kong businessman. Again, he's Hong Kong businessman here. He turns up. He kind of hello. Well, he's kind of like a smooth character.
Yeah.
Very calm, very placid, and he gets a bit more of an action role. It's nice to see him get out about a bit more.
Okay, what about the Taiwanese actress Hannah Quinn-Levin? Jay Chou's wife. She plays what? An assassin-style nightclub dominatrix? Sounds very stereotypical.
I don't know
what
whether,
does she do,
I don't know
actually?
where the nightclub dominatrix thing comes in, but she's an assassin. And, I mean, no surprise to say, she's immensely good looking.
Supposedly, it was a 7-figure sum was paid by Universal and Legendary Entertainment.
As in buying the rights to it?
The rights to it, yes.
Well, sure. I mean, someone's just said, it's a high concept film. Why don't we have Die Hard mixed with the Towering Inferno?
And they're aiming at the Asian market as well. They're trying to appeal.
Well, the fact that it's set in Hong Kong is quite clear.
Yeah. So, JB, what's next for The Rock then? I read somewhere that there's a remake of Big Trouble in Little China. Remember that 1986 classic featuring Kurt Russell?
Yeah, I don't know if it's actually confirmed. It kind of figures. I mean, that's the thing with Dwayne Johnson. He's not short of things. I mean, in the space of 6 months, he's had 3 big films out. He's had Jumanji, Welcome to the Jungle. He's had Rampage, based on the video game. That's kind of like stupid as well. But
he's a hardworking guy.
Yeah? And I mean, he puts the hours in and he goes for it. And he's great with his fans and his everything. But he's got such a slate lined up. He's also, he's got Jumanji 2 coming out. Then he's got the Fast and Furious spin-off, Hobbs and Shaw, which is going to be him and Jason Statham. And now it's been announced that Idris Elba is going to be the villain in that. He's also is meant to be in Suicide Squad 2. He's got San Andreas 2. I don't know how you do San Andreas 2. Saying is it earthquakeier? After everything fell apart after the first one, didn't it?
Well, I'm looking forward to Big Trouble in Little China. If he does start, for the premise for those who are too young to remember, is a truck driver and his friend get drawn into an unexpected battle with an ancient sorcerer in Chinatown.
No, Chinatown in San Francisco as well. But it's a fantastic film, as I remember it. I don't know how racially dodgy it is these days. I'm guy who
could be Qin Han again as the ancient sorcerer.
I wouldn't put it past them. The guy who played the original is, of course, James Hong.
Yes. He was much older, of course. Much older sorcerer than Qin Han would be if he were to play.
Well, yeah, but James Hong is you probably know him now more as Poe's dad in the Kung Fu Panda series.
But The Rock, can he pull off all those one-liners that Kurt Russell used to do?
Easily.
Okay.
I think sometimes it feels like we're still waiting for the truly great Rock action movie.
So is this a movie that I should watch in the cinemas now, or should I wait for a year or two before it comes out on iTunes?
I think it's a Netflix. If you've got kids, yeah, they probably enjoy it. There's no nasty violence in it.
Yeah.
It's all very...
Just a little bit of an edge on,
For people of our age, it's very A-team violence. There's lots of shooting, but nobody really gets shot.
Yes.
And it's big, daft action. So it's for kids, fine. If you like a bit more intelligence to your action, and a bit more realism, then it's not for you.
Okay.
But it could easily pass an afternoon on Netflix.
And that's where we'll leave it for this episode of the Double Feature Movie Podcast. Thanks, JB, for all your comments and critical insights and analysis.
Oh, it was such a pleasure.
I can't wait to get you back in the hosting seat for the next episode of Double Feature.
Phrasing, man, phrasing.
Why?
I could take you to HR for this kind of thing. Anyway, perhaps you want to tell the listeners that you can also check out more podcasts at straitstimes.com.
Yes. Okay, I'll stick to this. That's good. Well, do check out the Straits Times for other podcasts on various topics like health, news, and money. Until the next episode of the Double Feature Movie Podcast, goodbye.